term triage is most commonly used in medical emergency situations where doctors have only limited resources or time and have to prioritise certain patients over others. Sales managers use the term to determine which deals in a sales pipeline are the ones where they should focus their efforts. So let's start with a simple exercise which takes just a few minutes. I'm going to ask you to pause the video and download a document which is an example of a list of deals that you might see in your sales pipeline. What I'd like you to do is to rank them in terms of which ones you should focus your coaching time on. That means which of these deals are most worthy of you putting your efforts into helping your salespeople to be more successful. Please just write down the list of deals in order of those that you should focus your coaching efforts on. So please pause the video and download document 3-4A, Triage exercise questions, and rank these deals in terms of where you'll focus your coaching time. Okay, please just put that list to one side while I explain the triage tool, and then we'll return to it. The triage model is a really simple tool, and it's designed to help sales managers to review their overall funnel and pipeline, and in coaching salespeople, and on management of the individual funnels, how to use resources and time management, etc. The purpose of the triage process is to agree which of 4 categories a SSO, a single sales opportunity, falls into. So an SSO is defined as one customer decision, and the triage model is applicable for deals that have progressed to kind of qualified opportunity stage. To do this, we use a simple map looking at the importance of a deal and the likelihood of winning. So what do we mean by importance? We use the term importance normally to mean simply the size of the decision. It's either a value of an order or a monthly services revenues flowing from the decision. In some cases where follow-on business is not guaranteed, say a pilot, we'll generally use a factored value such as the value of an initial order plus half of the value of expected revenues over the next 12 months. In very exceptional cases, an SSO may be deemed as very important for non-revenue reasons, i.e. it is, quotes, strategic in some way. And while this is sometimes a very justifiable position, for sales managers I would recommend extreme caution, as salespeople will sometimes go to extraordinary lengths to justify something as, quote, strategic in order to gain more resource or better pricing, etc. Likelihood. A good triage implementation relies upon having good judgment as to the likelihood of success for a particular project. Our definition of the percentage likelihood is this. If you had 100 projects identical to this one, how many would you close in the given timescale? So this definition should be used as the overriding basis for any judgment and is different from the forecasting percentage used in a number of Salesforce implementation systems. So the golden rule, when in doubt, forecast conservatively. So the tool is designed to give us guidance rather than being a hard and fast rule, so we don't simply draw 4 boxes but apply a little more thought as we allocate deals into one of 4 categories. So the 4 categories are watch. This is a relatively low important decision with a high probability of closing in our favour. We will review progress, but we're going to limit the involvement of resources into this SSO. So these SSOs are likely to happen, and we just need to catch any that starts to look at risk. So that's watch. Coach. Coach is a relatively higher value SSO where there is some doubt that it will close in our favour. These are going to be the ones where we will apply maximum management support. with enhanced coaching, probably applying some opportunity management tool. We'll put in executive visits and support, we'll allocate resources. So these are the SSOs where we can gain maximum return from enhanced support. Some people call these the swing deals that are going to make a big difference. We use the term respond. Now respond is a lower value and lower probability SSO. Well, we'll choose to not proactively support, but be prepared to react to customer requests or changes in probability. So these deals are still worth pursuing, but not with the proactive intensity of coach type opportunities. Drop. This is a low value and low probability SSO. A drop opportunity will not get any additional resource. And while we will rarely refuse good business, we should qualify out any deals that require effort and that will almost certainly not be won. So that's the tool. Now, if we go back to our exercise, I can simply plot where each of the 16 deals are on this map and from there come up with my ranking of where I should focus my efforts. I'll look at the top right hand coach area. This is high value or importance deals, and so personally as a sales manager I will focus on Lisbona, Alberto, Genoa, Cloisters and Joseph's. In some cases this might exhaust how much time I have available for coaching, but if I have more time then maybe Hortville and Fredericks and Peterson would get my attention. There are some deals in here where the triage might lead us to slightly counterintuitive conclusions. For example, De Monte is over 90% probability, but I'm going to ignore it over some deals like Alberto or Genoa, which are less certain. The reason for this is risk versus reward. There is very little risk involved in De Monte, and the reward is not great either. Whereas if I can just increase the likelihood of gaining Alberto by a little bit, the rewards are a lot greater. Oprah in the top left hand corner is another oddity. This is very high value, but we have very little chance of winning it. What the triage model says is that you just let it take its course and simply respond if something happens. Now, this can be difficult, especially if that one deal could make or break your quarter or your month. But in reality, it's very unlikely to happen. Because it's high value, we won't ignore it completely, but you're going to get far better returns with deals like Lisbona, Alberta, Genoa, Cloisters, etc. rather than putting lots of effort into chasing something that is really a wild gamble. The other point about the triage model is that it forces us to drop some deals. Now, this does not necessarily mean that the salesperson should drop them, although often that may be what you would be coaching them to do. But certainly in terms of where you personally can add value, these are the deals that you should ignore. As I stressed, this model is only a guideline and different people draw the lines in slightly different places. And it should not be an automatic process anyway. Simply a guide as to how to think about the deals that you see in the pipeline. You as the sales manager cannot focus on everything. Now, some sales managers use the concept of swing deals, which I mentioned, by which I mean when I look at the funnel, there are some deals that will almost certainly come in, some which will never come in, but which ones can I influence or help by focusing my attentions. Finally, I'd encourage you to try out this exercise on your current pipeline and then discuss with your coach to see how it plays out in your environment. We hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial and found it useful in developing your sales management skills. It's one of a series designed to help aspiring, new or developing sales managers. Please subscribe to get access to all of the tutorials in the series and to get news of new ones added. You can also go to www.realsalesmanager.com, where you'll find lots of other activities and resources, as well as guides suggesting the best sequence in which to listen to or watch these tutorials.